Scissors, paper, stone, from compassion fatigue. The story arbitrarily begins in the gazebo by the lake. A gazebo protects and displays all at once. The young woman in the gazebo is named Elspeth because, in his younger years, the author desired a girl called Elspeth. The young man in the gazebo is named Troy. He's so named because the author, who's no longer young enough to make love to anybody in a gazebo, likes the name Troy. As the story begins, Troy is making love to Elspeth on a pile of formal clothing on the gazebo floor. Up the hill from the gazebo, behind an Edwardian mansion, in an English garden festooned with Chinese lanterns, a party is in progress. Men are dressed in tailor black dinner suits, and women are apparelled in gowns of every kind of silk, many by Balenciaga. A dinner suit and taffeta gown litter the gazebo floor. Troy and Elspeth's hot secretions are slowly ruining these garments. Elspeth demurely screams with pleasure, and the sound carries across the water to the author, who is bobbing nearby in a rowboat, occasionally drinking cheap gin. It's a tragedy of acoustics that sound carries clearly for long distances over water. Elspeth demurely bites her own lip to stifle herself. She is thinking, "How beautiful is my lover?" Elspeth thinks of nothing but beauty, and in fact, her love of beauty will kill her one day. Troy truly is beautiful, and everybody agrees Troy is beautiful. In fact, up on that hill at that very moment, one chiffon-gowned woman is saying to a satin-gowned woman, "That Troy is so beautiful. Wouldn't you agree?" Troy's beauty will not kill him one day. The author does not begrudge Troy's beauty. The author once wished he was beautiful, and creates beautiful male characters for whom he can experience vicarious beauty. Elspeth fully weeps for Troy's beauty as he pumps his love into her with great finesse. Moths and mayflies flutter frantically against the cruel screens of the gazebo. The smell of the feast inside has rendered them oblivious to the savaging of their fragile wings against the brutally abrasive screening. The author is touched by the martyrdom of the insects he has imagined. They too are not beautiful. Finishing the gin, the author tosses the bottle into the lake and commences rowing toward shore. By this time, Elspeth is passionately moaning, "No more, no more," to Troy because of the surfeit of pleasure he has already provided. No woman has actually ever said this to the author because, well, Troy disregards Elspeth's supplications as she knows he will. Elspeth is pulling him closer and grinding him harder, so his instincts tell him this is not a "no more means no" situation. Troy's beauty and instincts have brought him far, but Troy is not very intelligent. The idea that someone could be both beautiful and intelligent is alien to the author, who's not himself much to look at. Reaching the shore, the author abandons the boat and trudges up the hill. Elspeth's pleasure is cresting again, and her loins are building up to a full female ejaculation that the author imagines will stain the formal clothing beyond all recovery. The author himself has now crested the hill and is making his way through the party guests towards Elspeth's husband. Normally polite ladies point and whisper to each other about the poor quality of the author's attire, consisting of an ill-fitting rental tuxedo and thrift shop loafers. Male partygoers openly stare at the passing author, all the while shaking their heads superciliously. Not knowing that he's arrived by rowboat, they wonder how the author made it past the doormen engaged to prevent the entry of artists. Elspeth's husband is dismayed when he notices the author is making a beeline towards him. They have never been introduced. Elspeth's husband would never associate with someone like the author. It would be out of character. Jean-Luc Godard, the great French cinematic auteur, famously said that all you need to make a film was a girl and a gun. This author, who wishes he could actually sit through a Godard film since Breathless, takes his opportunity to inform you, unsuspecting reader, that a small caliber pistol has been placed in the waistband of Elspeth's husband's trousers, concealed by his cummerbund, for the express purpose of shooting Elspeth above the left breast. Although Elspeth's husband has never seen this pistol and is not generally familiar with the use of firearms, when the contrived plot demands misogynistic murder to move it along, he will not have occasion to question the presence of the gun. The author stands uncomfortably close to Elspeth's husband and whispers, "Even as we speak, your wife cuckolds you in the gazebo." Stepping well back out of range of the author's drugstore chemical aftershave, the husband demands, "Who, sir, are you?" "An interested party," responds the author, and this being the only other dialogue in the story, the film version, if there is one, will fail the Bechdel test. After setting the clockwork in motion, the author skips down the hill to the rowboat. He rows like a fiend, but's barely a stone's throw into the lake when he hears the shot. The author is saddened that his own desire for Elspeth shall never come to fruition. He can never imagine having Elspeth now, but neither can any other man. He stops rowing, the boat drifts. Troy swims past, naked and beautiful in the cold water. The author considers rowing alongside him and asking him what it was like to make love to a woman like Elspeth. But Troy is athletically built and swimming too fast, mostly underwater. So the author remains safely adrift, imagining what it might be like to be beautiful like Troy, and that he had ever been so shameless as to make love in a gazebo.